What's going on, wholesalers? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to get a JV deal done. There's a ton of information that you need to get from your JV partner to make sure that this is a good deal before you start shopping it out to your buyers. So if you're looking to get your first or next JV deal, definitely stay tuned to the end, guys. Let's go ahead, let's dive into this content.
I want it all, expensive trip, exotic cars when I took that loss.
Alright, so first off, you gotta make sure that your JV partner is direct to the seller, okay? The worst thing that can happen is that you start shopping it out to your buyers and then they realize that it's a daisy chain. So let's just break down what an actual daisy chain is. A daisy chain is pretty much when a property has just too much going on with it, specifically with how many people are trying to JV this property or sell it. Let's give an example. How many times have you come across a partner who says like, yeah, I've got this property under contract, so on and so forth, and then it turns out that they're not actually the contract holder. They're already JVing with someone else. Now, if that person actually does a JV deal with you, that's officially a daisy chain. It's too many people removed from the actual seller. So you want to make sure that you're not working with properties that's got a ton of people on it. You want to be direct to the seller. Or if you're not direct to the seller, you want to be direct to the buyer, and you just want your JV partner direct to the seller, so you guys can get this thing done smoothly and it's not a daisy chain. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna wanna find out from your JV partner is, do you have access to the property? Now this is huge. They're gonna either need to have a lockbox or an actual key to the property. You don't wanna have to constantly keep going back and forth with the actual seller. You want them to have access to the property so your buyers can actually get into the property to see it if they want to check for repairs and things of that nature. If they're interested, you want to have access. If they don't have access, that's going to be a deal breaker. The next most important thing you're going to need to know from your JV partners are, do they have pics and videos of the property? This lets you know that they've actually been inside the property and that they've actually done their due diligence. They've put their eyes on this property. They aren't just trying to wholesale a property that they know nothing about. Okay, so that's major. They should have that link. They should have a link to those pictures on a Google Drive or Dropbox or an iCloud link. That's what I would recommend. If not, make sure that you ask them for it. All right, so the next thing you're gonna need to know is, do you have a buyer's package? You want them to already be promoting this property. You want to know that they've professionally packaged up a buyer package similar to what I've showed you in my most recent video. So if you haven't checked that out, click the link up below and check that video out so you can see the buyer's package that I expect from my JV partners to have, or at least something similar. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but you need to know that they have something that's already packaged up. If you find some extra information during the process of analyzing this property, add that information on as well, and make sure that you just have something professional and laid out already for your buyers. If not, then you'll end up doing their job. So that's another thing that you want to make sure that they have. The next question you're going to want to ask them, and this is the money question right here, guys, is what's the spread? How much money are we making on this property? In other words, you're asking them, what'd you get this property under contract for? I mean, what's up with that cheddar? I would not move on any property where the person is not willing to let me know how much the actual spread is, okay? That just doesn't even make sense. So make sure that you're working with people who are upfront, who are honest. They're letting you know what the situation is. They're letting you know how many other people are on this property, how many, like what's going on. You need full disclosure, and that's why I'm giving you these questions to ask. So make sure that you find out what they have it under contract for and what the spread is. And then that kind of goes right into the next one with it, which is, how do they want to do the split? How do they want to split the money? Are they trying to do 50-50? Do they want to do 60-40? How I would probably ask that is 50-50 okay with you? You don't want it to be vague. If you're going to be working, this is a business, y'all. So if you're trying to get paid out here, make sure that you're extremely clear about how much money you're trying to make. Another question that you're going to want to ask, and this may be optional, you may know it already by the time that you even get to ask this question, or you may know it based off of the pics and videos. If you don't know, you need to know whether this property is vacant or occupied. A lot of times these properties that are supposed to be vacant can end up with squatters in them, or it could be like crazy situations where the pipes burst if it's the winter time. So you need to know whether the property is vacant or occupied, because your buyers are going to want to know. They're not just buying anything. Some buyers are okay with buying properties with tenants in them. Others aren't. But all of them are going to want to know who's living in my property, or is it vacant? If it is vacant, then maybe it's different things that they have to consider. So you have to make sure that you know whether it's vacant or occupied. So the next one after that is going to be, how long do you have this property under contract for? To me, that's major. Like, I need to know how many more days or weeks, months, whatever it may be, how much longer do I have until this contract expires? I don't want to be working on a pretty much dead property and trying to shop it out to my buyers, but then I've only got like 4 days left on the contract. It just doesn't make sense. Now I'm shopping pretty much at that point. You don't want to be shopping crap to your buyers. If you've only got a few days, then it's not really yours and they don't know what's going on. You don't want to confuse them. You want everything to be nice, easy to understand. So you need to know how many more days are left on that contract. Make sure that you ask them that. And then next, in the name of getting all your money and not letting any dollar slip away, trust me, deals fall apart at the closing table all the time because of this one right here. Make sure that you ask your JV partner, are there any taxes, liens, or any other bills on the property that can stop you off from being able to close on it? And if there are those bills and taxes, did they stipulate in their contract with the seller that the buyer is going to be paying the closing costs, or is the seller going to be paying those costs? So that's super important. Some buyers out there, they're just not interested in paying someone else's closing costs. So before you just start signing all your buyers up to pay all the closing costs, make sure you actually talk to them and find out what they would be comfortable with when it comes to those numbers. But make sure as well that your JV partner knows whether there's any taxes, liens, or other encumbrances on the property. If they don't know, then definitely have them reach out to the seller so you can verify that number before you actually do a JV agreement on this property. The next question that I always like to ask my JV partners is, where have you been marketing the property? So let's say, for instance, they've been marketing the property all over Facebook groups and Marketplace. Then I may not want to post the same property there, especially if we've changed the price. Maybe we're going to charge less, things like that. You want everything to be very consistent, and you don't want to oversaturate a market with one property. With the knowledge of how long they've had the property under contract for, you'll know about how long it's been and how many people may have seen this property on any given platform. What I would recommend is place this property on every platform that your JV partner hasn't placed it on yet, as well as shooting it out to your cash buyers, of course. Buyers get confused. Other wholesalers get confused. You see different prices. You see it's being marketed everywhere by different people that seem sketchy, and people tend to back away. So make sure that you find out where they've been marketing it. And then lastly, you want to find out, have they gotten any offers yet? This is another money question. Have you gotten any offers yet? Like, what have you turned down already? What has the seller turned down already, if anything? Have you gotten any traction? What have people been saying? Whatever it may be, you need to find out, have they gotten any offers, what the seller has passed on already. So then you're in a better position to be able to negotiate with your cash buyers, because you already know what the seller probably won't take, or what your JV partner is not willing to take on an assignment fee. All right, guys, so that is pretty much it for my JV deals checklist. I'm gonna have this guide inside of the Wholesalers Hub. As always, guys, use the link in the description below to join the Wholesalers Hub and grab this JV deal checklist, guys. Anyway, I hope you all liked this video. If you did, make sure that you smack that like button now. Hope y'all like the new camera. You know, I want these videos to be a lot more cinematic. I want them to look a lot better so I could produce higher quality for you all. Yeah, definitely hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, guys. I post videos about wholesaling once, sometimes 2-3 more times per week. And I'm actually trying to give you all the meat of what wholesaling really is. So definitely hit that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, I am